This is Mark Bell from SuperTraining Gym. SuperTraining Gym, the strongest gym in the West. And it feels good to be back in the saddle again with some voiceover to some of our SuperTraining workouts. A lot of the guys, a lot of the girls here at SuperTraining Gym have been warming up on this belt squat. This belt squat is from our boy, Matt Winning, who just so happens to be a very, very, very strong powerlifter and a very smart guy. So Matt does a lot of stuff before the workout. That's not just warm-up stuff. I think sometimes people think, you're just kind of moving around just to get warm. And some people do exercises like that. I'm not sure what that guy's doing with his butt, but that looks good. That's Cody, one of the new guys working here and working out with us. Big kid, sticking his booty out there. But yeah, Matt Winning does a lot of what would be considered general physical preparedness work, GPP. Just trying to get yourself in shape, because really, as a power lifter, as a bodybuilder, not only do we want to be strong, we want to be healthy, and we want to actually look strong as well. So it's not really just about, hitting these massive lifts. And this girl right here, I've talked to her before about the box height, and I was like, hey, I think, the boxer squat was kind of high. But she's had like a wonky knee injury going on, so that's why she was on a skyscraper right there. But, we want to look like we lift as well. And so sometimes just from the max effort work, just from going heavy, you sometimes don't get the volume that's necessary to make you jacked. And so Matt Winning is smart enough to get some of that work in before you do your heavy lifts. It also will pre-fatigue you, which puts you in better condition as well. And there's kind of a time and place to do it. Maybe you do it for 6 weeks in a row, where you do leg extensions and leg curls, or you do lat pull downs and bicep work before you bench press. And then maybe you take it out for a while and see how strong you are without doing those things previously. You can see these guys are using the giant cambered bar, and you can see other people were using the safety squat bar. We have a lot of bars here at SuperTraining Gym. We have, every available thing you can think of to get stronger. The giant cambered bar and the safety squat bar, they both allow your shoulders to relax. It takes your upper body, maybe not like completely out of the movement, but it takes shoulder mobility out of the movement, which sometimes a limiting factor for some people on a squat. You can see how Jay here has got to really try to posture up, because that safety bar wants to really push you forward. That pad in the back wants to go roll up on your neck and shove you forward. And see, as you can see, once your back gives out with that exercise, you're done. Like his legs and his lower back said, hey, you know what? This weight's not going to be able to keep moving anymore. And so these bars, they have a different time and place to be used in your training. We use them kind of like almost randomly, because we just like the different effect that we get from each bar, different center of gravity, different balance issues, especially with this bar. This bar will really get rocking and rolling on you. I like to use this cambered bar quite a bit. You guys have seen me use this a lot. Cambered bar, box squat, probably my favorite movement in the gym. This piece is actually great for good mornings as well. You don't even really see this bar around anymore. I think, Louis Simmons made it a long time ago, and you don't see much from it anymore. But what we're trying to do in a squat is we're trying to get our stomach tight. We're trying to keep our chest up. We're trying to keep our back flat, and we're trying to push our hips back. And you can see that's an excellent job right there. That's an excellent demonstration of what a squat should look like, whether you have this type of bar or whether you have a regular bar. And, a lot of the same principles are true with a deadlift as well. Deadlifts and squats are very similar. In both cases, whether you're doing a sumo deadlift or a conventional deadlift, you want it to utilize your lower back to some extent. And what people don't sometimes realize is when you're doing a squat, it's the same thing. You want to utilize your lower back at least a little bit. You see this girl here, she's kind of like leaning into the squat a little bit as she comes up off that box. It's because you have to use your legs and your lower back almost simultaneously. What you're also noticing is everyone making these kind of funny faces. Everyone's kind of making these big fat faces. They're taking a lot of air into their face and into their body. And you really want to take a lot of air into your stomach. You see right there, as he just did, he kind of pressurized. Kevin he was sucking the air in, and then he's pushing down and through the belt. And it's kind of a hard thing to really describe, but when you get the pressure right, you feel it throughout your entire body. And that's kind of the point, is we're trying to stay attached to the bar throughout the entire range of motion. We're trying to find a posture and then hold that posture throughout the entire lift, which can be very difficult. And you can see right here, that's being demonstrated really well, where the form and technique is similar on every rep. If you want to get strong, there's our boy Smokey. If you want to get strong, your last rep should look like your first rep very, very often in your training. Most of your training should consist of repetitions that are unbroken. There should be very few times in your training that you have moments of a lift being really iffy or missing a lift. You should not really be missing lifts. If you're a newer lifter, it may happen on occasion. You may miss a lift here or there, but you'll notice the best lifters in your gym miss weights the least, and oftentimes you may have never even seen them miss a weight. I think for myself, when it comes to bench pressing, really rare for me to miss a lift. And just from learning squats and deadlifts and stuff too over the years, I've learned what to take and what not to take, attempt wise, to where I don't get myself in that compromised of a position. But I would say that in the bench press, where I'm a better lifter, there may not even be that many bad reps that I've ever done. Most of the reps are pretty good. I'm not a great squatter though, so therefore I'll end up having some squat reps that aren't missed necessarily, but aren't great. And your lift should really be unbroken. They should be flawless. Kevin's doing a good job. This is kind of riding that line right where you need to be, because if all your lifts are completely flawless, then that means you're probably not challenging yourself enough. And he looks like he can even go up from there. So I'm not sure what he did in his workout, but that looked like a good, strong lift. But if I was there on that particular day, I would suggest that he adds a little bit of weight to the bar. This bar, I think, by the way, is like 60 pounds. So that's why you see it looks like it's like 385 on the bar, but it says 405. Because the bar itself is actually really pretty heavy. Our boy Smoke's got the bar pretty low on his back. Different lifters like that bar in different spots. I myself, I'm not able to put the bar super low. It always feels like it's going to fall off my back. I have really poor shoulder mobility, so the bar has to be higher up on my back.
Going too deep.
Lifters make such a huge deal about high and low bar and all these different things, but just find what feels comfortable to you. Find a spot that you prefer, and then go from there. I've been training super early in the morning, so I have not been training with our normal lifting crew, and I miss it. It's a lot of fun to train with these guys. But I just have so many different things to get through in a day. It just no longer made sense for me to be there that late, and I'm still at the gym from 4 a.m. until 4 p.m. just about every single day, at least several days a week. So still putting a lot of time in there, not just the gym, but in Slingshot as well, because this is not only SuperTraining Gym, but this is Slingshot World Headquarters. Smokey, good strong lift there, and the gangsta sleeves. If you haven't tried out the gangsta sleeves, you're out of your mind, because they're awesome. 9 millimeters in thickness, and it really does feel like a knee wrap. Here's our boy Terrell going. And the safety bar is tough. I would say the cambered bar is a little easier than the safety bar. That cambered bar really wants to push on your neck. It's super uncomfortable. Terrell is someone who came in with a little bit of a closer stance, and me and Zach and a few others kind of advised that he goes out a little bit wider. His form just looks a little bit more natural out there. He kind of has some long legs. Former sprinter and football player. Ran a 4.340, legit 4.340. I mean, the guy's a super athlete. And so we thought, getting his legs out a little wider will be a big advantage for him in the squat. These are some nice reps right here. And you could see starting to be a little bit of a breakdown and starting to be a little bit of a usage of the lower back. But that's right about where you want that's how your workouts should kind of look. Anything above that would probably be a mistake. Going any heavier than that would probably not be a great idea. You're going to teach your central nervous system kind of the wrong way of lifting. Kind of reminds me of when fighters, pick certain fights. It's really important that they pick certain fights, certain parts of their career, so don't get too far ahead of themselves. Don't get too far ahead of yourself in your training. Remember this too, strength is never a weakness, weakness is never a strength, and I'll catch you guys later.